Oh, PHROG will be coming out on October 17th, 2025 on YouTube and Vimeo.
Perfect. Link to the channel where that's coming out in the description, and look forward to that because you guys are going to love it. So you have been busy lately?
Yes, yes.
What's going on in your filmmaking world?
Right now I've been gearing up to do a short through the Action London program, through the Film London Film Office.
So I saw one of the short films you completed quite a while ago, a really awesome horror short film called PHROG. Can you tell us a bit about that?
So PHROG, we shot in February of 2023, finished it in June of 2024. And it's a short film about a woman who hears a strange noise in her basement and gets more than she bargained for when she goes to investigate. So pretty classic kind of, horror trope type thing. I just kind of wanted to focus on making it look good, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and everything. And it got into a few festivals, got a couple nominations and everything. So it was at Chicago Horror Fest, Shockstock, which was the most recent one. There was the Day of the Dead Atlanta Film Festival. Chattanooga was one, which was actually a kind of a big one, but it was kind of an only online type thing. Because I feel, it was the first one I got into was Erie Horror Fest in Erie, Pennsylvania. And then Shockstock was in London, which was great because that's, my hometown and where I live now. So
where did the idea come from for this, and why did you want to make it?
Essentially, I would get this recurring nightmare of someone like living in my walls. I hope that doesn't spoil too much. But then my wife, her parents moved into a farmhouse, and they said there was a very creepy basement in there. So when we helped move them in, I went into the basement, and I found this kind of crawl space area. And I was like, I need to find something to shoot in this crawl space area. And that's when I was kind of like brought back to that idea of the recurring nightmare, and I put the two together, and then I started writing the script and everything. I had made another short film before that called Sleep Awake. Looking at it critically from my own perspective, I was kind of like, it kind of feels still low budget to me. So I was kind of like, I want to try to see what I can do to make it look higher budget, and what I need to do to actually make that happen, which was actually put some money into it.
How many days were you shooting for?
We shot it was just 2 days.
Difficult, easy? It seemed like a tight space.
It was pretty easy, went pretty well. The only thing was that at the farmhouse, my wife, her parents and her sister and brother-in-law all live in that house because they bought this farm together. They were building another house on the side, which just finished being built like this year. So the thing is that they have a ton of animals, so they have like dogs and like they have horses and stuff like that. So there was a lot of stuff where we had to stop for the dogs to be let out. We had to have like my now sister-in-law upstairs with the dogs, just like dog wrangling, and like we had to stop for some reason for when they went to go feed the horses and stuff like that. So that did kind of eat into our time, especially on the second day when we were kind of feeling the heat of like, oh, we might not get all our shots.
Did you end up having to cut stuff?
No. What was actually nice was Mac took me aside and kind of was like, hey, don't worry, don't stress. We're all here for you to make this thing. We all think this is cool. And you don't have to worry about trying to wrap us early or wrapping us on time. If we need to go over a little bit, it'll be okay. That calmed me down enough to go through my shot list again and really dial in on what setups I needed to do so that I didn't have to go from like tripod to handheld back to tripod or anything. So we got everything done, a bit more efficiently.
I thought it was like a really good, like jumping into the deep end type thing. Yeah. Paid off well for you.
Yeah, I that was kind of what I wanted to do, was I kept the story fairly simple and I just wanted to focus on trying to make it look as good as possible.
Was there anything in particular movie-wise that inspired the look of that, or were you kind of just going for it?
The movie Zodiac was kind of our visual reference, especially for the basement portion.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking of, yeah.
And then the comps I had for it were The Strangers meets Parasite. I know that like home invasion horror doesn't do it for everybody, but it does for me because it's a very real thing that could happen. And like, especially topically now these days when they've kind of made it people aware that you can't really do much if someone invades your home because you might find yourself in jail if you
Man, Canada
defend
problems.
yourself. So
That is a chilling thing to think about. Oh my
Yeah.
God, in the context. Well, so we're in October now.
Yep.
It is spooky season.
my
I know,
favorite time of year.
Yeah, I know we both like horror movies.
Yeah.
Have you been kind of marathoning?
I started actually early before October. I did a triple feature with my friend Jeff Chambers, who is also often my DOP now that I'm in London. So we saw him at Imagine, which it's been getting a lot of flack and like low critic scores and everything, but I actually really enjoyed him.
Okay.
And that's like the Jordan Peele produced one.
Yeah, the football
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah. So I thought that it was pretty strong. Like I really enjoyed it. Great visuals and everything. But yeah, a lot of people were like ragging on the acting and stuff like that, which I thought was actually quite good. So I don't know, just a taste thing. So then we went from there to the Highland. We watched Lurker, which is kind of like a guy who gets obsessed with a music artist and tries to insert himself into that artist's life. And that, again, blew me away. It was great. And then we went from there to see The Long Walk at Landmark. And again, just so good. And so it was just like one after another, just 3 hits in a row. And then the week after, I watched The Conjuring Last Rites with my wife, and again, like just blew me away. Like,
I was watching another one you recommended, The Blackwell Ghost.
oh yeah, yeah.
Have you only seen the first
Oh,
one?
I've
of that?
still only seen the first
Oh
one.
my God. I was looking into that and I was
Yeah.
like, how are there 8 of these? It's fucking crazy. Those are wild and kind of inspirational because
Yeah.
it's just like the one dude basically.
Yeah, well, and like, I know you've been on like a bit of a found footage kick, so like
Yeah.
I spoiler alert for later on, but I will talk about this. I'm sure the found footage horror film that I've made, but I've also been doing a lot of watching of found footage films in order to like, do my research. But if we're talking about like all-time favorites, I have like an all-time favorites, and I have them split up between classic horror and modern horror because I have so many favorites.
Let's hear them.
They're
yeah.
not necessarily in any particular order, but the classic horrors I've got like The Shining, The Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, Halloween, The Wicker Man, The Thing, Alien, The Omen, Black Christmas, and Carrie. That's just my top 10. I have more, but I'll spare you guys the details. And then modern horror, I've got Hereditary, Midsommar, The Witch, Get Out, Creep, The Strangers, The Hole in the Ground, Evil Dead 2013, Vivarium, and Sinister as my top 10 there.
A few of those I still need to watch. Sinister, I don't know if you saw that heart rate study they did.
Yes.
Where they said that was the scariest.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and
that movie is terrifying.
Now that we're talking about like scariest movies, I think that's also got to be up there. Especially, and interestingly enough, the found footage, the portions of that film are, I think, some of the most haunting parts of the movie.
I'll never forget seeing it in theaters. And again, no spoilers, but Lawnmower.
Yeah, that's
People
the
fucking
one that
screamed.
sticks in my head. Lawnmower, the pool party one as well, also gets me.
Well, I hadn't seen it since I had seen it in theaters. And then I rewatched it maybe like 4 years ago. I thought it would be fun to rewatch it. And then as it progressed, I was like, oh, I'm really not comfortable.
Yeah.
And the scene where I almost started regretting putting it on. It was, I think, with the car in the garage when they start playing that really weird music.
Yes.
That shit just does something to me.
Yeah.
That movie's terrifying.
Yeah. And it's so good. The second one I thought was like kind of okay because I guess the first one is a little supernatural.
Yeah.
But it goes more into the supernatural in the second one. But you can see how it paved the way for the Black Phone because there's a lot of crossover there with it because it's the same writer for Sinister,
Yeah.
I believe, that also does the Black Phone.
You might feel the same, but I've been binging horror movies to try and distill like some kind of scientific method on a base level as to what makes something scary.
Yes, yes.
And I know it's subjective.
Yep.
But with things like Sinister, it's like, okay, there must be some kind of unanimous response.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're making horror movies, you want to know
Yeah.
what is the method.
It's like the art of crafting a good scare is actually something that I know horror directors discuss in their circles, and I know after just watching The Conjuring Last Rites recently, James Wan is actually pretty good at it. If
Oh, definitely.
And I know that I don't know if he's directed every single one of the Conjuring movies or if he's just been a producer on most of them. But yeah, he is very good at crafting a good scare. And I think watching Weapons,
That was a good
Zach
one.
Krieger, I think he was also very good at it because he also kind of mixed some genres in there too.
Yeah, it was like almost a comedy, pulp fiction-y type structure.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked it. I have nothing bad to say about it. It feels like a very good adult version of like a Goosebumps book.
Yes.
You know, that
yes.
suburban type feeling. Really enjoyable in the theater.
Yes.
I think, again, without spoilers, the ending kind of going to a more comedic territory.
Yeah.
I like horror movies ending at some kind of peak of scariness.
Yeah.
Rather than letting it fizzle. I think that's the only thing I kind of...
yeah. Well, and the thing for me with a horror movie is that, like, the choice between rather like leaving it kind of on a downbeat or having some sort of like they've defeated the evil or something, have some sort of release from it, and that's something that I kind of wrestle with making horror films, is that like generally I gravitate towards doing the downbeat and or leaving some sort of ambiguous ending if I can. But with the state of the world and everything, it's kind of nice to have something a little bit more hopeful. And I think recently Seth MacFarlane, more in the comedy spectrum, but he was talking about how more movies need to have, like, you know, a little bit more hope at the end and whatnot. Because if you look at a lot of what is on TV, violence in movies and sex on TV, you know, and a lot of stuff is just so dark and gritty and everything, and so like it's opened up my mind to maybe think about
fair enough.
Which again, I'm gonna bring it back to The Conjuring Last Rites, which they did end on a happy note.
Yeah, that's my thing with horror movies. I just want to be left freaked out, you know?
Freaked out. And for me, the ones that really stick with me are the ones that like crawl under your skin and you think about them afterwards. And like, especially if you're like in a situation like with PHROG, I kind of wanted to have that, like, okay, like a lot of people don't like basements. They're creepy. A lot of them, especially the one in PHROG. So I wanted people to be like, you know, kind of, they're in the basement and suddenly they think of PHROG and they're like, oh shit. And, you know, kind of they're now looking over their shoulders a little bit.
We both like Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah, love Goosebumps.
Both been getting into a bit of revival with that.
Yes.
How many of those do you have?
I only have 2.
What do you have?
Monster Blood and Ghost Beach, I believe.
Ghost Beach has the coolest cover art. I love
Yes,
that one.
yes. And so I wanted to get some more. When I was at Shockstock in May, last
Yeah,
May,
yeah,
I saw a bunch of them that were for sale at Mike K's table, and I should have just snatched them all up. But
You should have. Something weird about them. The nostalgia is heavy,
yes,
and I think I like reading them is kind of fun. It's kind of like, oh, you feel like a kid in the 90s again. But I think just the
Yes.
look of them is just so iconic that like
yes,
if you grew up with them, you need to have them if you see them. God. Yeah, there was one painter for all of that original series.
oh really?
I think his name is like Tim Jacobus. And him and R.L. Stein come off like as like best friends or something. It's funny seeing them talk. But yeah, those are iconic.
Yes, yeah, and the show was also iconic for me too. That and Are You Afraid of the Dark were those like shows that like I was curious about as a kid, but like I was always kind of scared about them, and so I think the movie I saw the TV Glow when they talk about the
Yeah.
pink opaque, and how it was like that the main character's like favorite TV show, but then when he went back and watched it, it seemed a lot different. It didn't seem quite as scary
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
So that's my fear of going back and watching them, which I did start watching the Are You Afraid of the Dark series because it is on YouTube. And so far, I think I've only watched the first season, and it's kind of just been like a little underwhelming. But at the same time, there is some of them have like some decent writing and whatnot.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Tales from the Crypt, but I was a big Tales from the Crypt keeper kid as well. So that was the animated version. So those definitely planted the seeds to get me like into horror.
I was just thinking that I don't think the generations after us grew up on like a famous horror thing.
Right.
And I think it was definitely like a remnant of the 80s.
Yes.
Because that was like a big pop culture thing then.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I think another big one was Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
It's a very gateway horror.
That's been around forever now that
Yeah.
I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I came across a video the other day of he was a guy who's a father, and he was talking. He's into horror stuff, and he's like a horror influencer. And he was saying that he wanted to find a way to, get his kids into horror because they were interested in it because they know he's got all this like horror memorabilia in his office. You were talking about the art of the covers of Goosebumps. But
Yeah.
the other thing I really liked about Scooby-Doo was the art of the establishing shots.
Yeah. The paintings and all that. Yeah.
Yes, which I believe they had an ex-Disney animator who started them. And then I don't know if they kept him on or not, and but I know that they kept true to that art style. And just I came across a post the other day that just like went through and had like 40 different backgrounds from Scooby-Doo, and I was just like, wow, like so many of these are like ingrained in my head without even like really thinking about it. It was like a nostalgia trip. It was great.
Because like even 2D animation, stuff like that, it's a lost art.
It is, and a lot of the things I worked with Joe Hader, who's he's worked on many Disney movies as an animator, and he was saying that a lot of the tools are no longer around to make that happen.
From what I saw, they used to have to use like layers of glass panels, which could simulate depth of field.
Yep.
And stuff like that, and just
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Did you watch Akira yet?
I have not.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm sorry.
If you ever look up the behind the scenes, like it's fucking nuts.
I have I was going to add Inland Empire as something to watch this month.
Oh, you should. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah, I watched The Tunnel as on October 1st.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of that?
It was okay.
I felt the same. Yeah. I think God, because I've been watching them like daily, like scary movies.
Yeah.
You haven't watched any Hell House, or have you?
I've seen the first two.
Okay, what do you like them?
I liked the first one. The second one I thought was okay.
Yeah.
I found it harder to get into the second one.
Yeah.
But when we hung out, I was going to suggest we watch the third one, but then I just saw that you've already seen the third one because I saw you post your Letterboxd.
Yeah. There was some
review.
expensive, not super expensive, but a box set of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to get this. It's a guilty pleasure series for me
Yeah.
because I know some of them seem like pretty bad.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't know why. I just enjoy them so much.
Yeah, yeah. And again, that first one I still think is really well done, especially like considering that is likely their lowest budget one.
The third one you would like because the budget, they get Shutter money. So it goes way up super noticeably, and it's kind of epic. And then the fourth one, it's not really a spoiler, but it doesn't take place in that location.
Okay.
It's still connected plot wise, and it is really, really good.
Is that the one where it's something Manor?
The Carmichael Manor
Yeah,
origins.
yeah, and then like there's like the Carmichael tapes or something.
Yeah, so there's a new one that came out, and apparently it's really bad.
Is that the one that's not found footage? That's what they get for
People love it for being like, okay, the thing with found footage in my mind is it's almost like a video game
Yeah.
where it's so scary because you have to make your character move through the situation.
Yes.
And with found footage, it's like it's simulating like eyesight.
Well, it feels more grounded in reality is what I think
Yeah.
it is.
So I don't know. I love what would to other people seem like bargain bin movies.
Yeah.
I love that when it comes to found
Yeah.
footage. If it's
Well,
well done.
I know that for you, and this is for me as well, like anything that's like surveillance footage or something like that, or and like something eerie happening through that like lens of like, you know, shitty CCTV cameras or whatever, it's just because it has that element of feeling real. Because like I've seen so many like things where it's like this ghostly thing happened where you see like a wheelchair in an abandoned asylum move on like a CCTV surveillance camera, and you're just like it does something where it like sends shivers down your spine kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's hard to do that effectively.
Yes.
A few of them I watched. You need to watch.
Okay.
Ghost Watch. Have you heard of it?
I have seen Ghost Watch.
Oh, you've seen it?
I enjoyed
Okay.
it. I do think it was slightly dated.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean in '92, but I still did find some of it effective.
I was not expecting it to get so creepy
You're right.
because the revelation with the villain, like who the backstory, I was like, whoa, that just made it like creepier.
It's when I watched it, I think it was after we had watched Late Night with the Devil.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I kind of saw similar parallels with it.
Oh, that's trippy. I know I was watching a movie recently where I was thinking of Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that one for sure. It could have been. Really weird series, Horror in the High Desert. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it though.
Okay. One of the actors in my movie, when I was going to see PHROG, recommended that to me.
Okay.
And I was like, is that a cowboy movie or something, right? And then I watched it, and the first one in particular has one of the scariest, like, in the same style of Sinister, where it was like the audio design was kind of brings it to a new level of freakiness.
Yeah. Well, like that's like one of the big things of found footage is like the diegetic sound. Like it has to come from within the.
Yeah.
It's interesting because then like you can't really have your traditional horror music or score, which oftentimes adds to the tension.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the challenges in making a found footage horror. But watching The Tunnel, I noticed that they added all that music and stuff in there.
This shows how little I remember anything about that movie. Like, I think
It's just fresh in my mind because I watched it like 5 days ago.
I know why I didn't find it that freaky is because they had the interviews.
Yeah.
So without any spoilers, you kind of know who makes it.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
you see who is being interviewed and who's not.
Yeah.
So I clicked into that as well. I watched it with my wife and I was like, well, this person doesn't make it and this person doesn't make it.
But I mean, it was on for years. I've seen lists of, okay, these are the creepiest found footage movies.
Yeah.
The Tunnel was on there.
Yeah, yeah. The one I want to watch this month, which I'm finding hard to find on any streaming services, As Above, So Below.
I love that one, dude. Oh my God.
And that's what everyone always says. So that,
Have you seen Superstore?
yes. The guy.
Jonah.
Yeah, he's in it.
I was like, what?
I know like a decent amount of it about it because like I know that it's actually a well-funded found footage film.
Yeah,
and I
it's
think
really well
I think
made.
a lot of that budget came from having them just being able to get the permits to shoot where they shot in the catacombs.
Yeah, I was shocked by how good and creepy it was. I was expecting it to be really stupid.
Yeah, I also haven't seen like the Rex or like the VHSs, which is I know are like huge on people's lists.
Yeah, VHS starts good and then goes bad, 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 bad.
Okay. And then they now have the Halloween one coming that just came out. So
Yeah, Wreck is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Wreck is like the best Resident Evil movie.
it's a Resident Evil movie.
It might as well be.
Okay.
It's like you would wish it was.
Okay.
The first two, because the second one they have a SWAT team go in.
Okay.
It feels totally Resident Evil. I love those ones. One of the because we're talking about like the method of scares. Incantation is one you need to see.
Yeah. That's an Indonesian one.
That or Taiwan. I think
Okay.
it might be Taiwan because when I was looking up, I was like, oh, that's where the semiconductor industry is.
Okay.
I've never seen a movie kind of engage with the viewer.
Oh, interesting.
Because there's a thing I've always
Like
been
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a thing I've always been interested in, which is like the psychological response to movies.
Yes.
Because like they test people's response to like commercials
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They've done it a bit for movies, but they don't really need to because they just do focus groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one felt like what should be the start of like a new movement of really diving into that.
Interesting. Now I really have to see this.
Yeah, and it is fucking terrifying. That was probably out of all of the horror movies I watched recently, that was like the only one I gave a perfect score.
And it's kind of stuck with you.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'll add it to the list.
Weirdly though, Ghost Watch stuck with me the longest.
Interesting.
That was the one where if I'm walking around with the lights off, that's the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incantation was just the most like visceral while I was watching it. Where I'm like, oh, if you did more with what they're doing here, it could get really dangerous.
Yeah.
Like if you were having a bad trip or something,
Oh yeah.
it would wreck you. Because there's one point in the movie where it's like, okay, all of that engagement. No, I cannot spoil it.
All right.
Even
all right.
vaguely, I cannot. As a filmmaker, you will love it.
I'm not entirely sure when I really realized I wanted to be a filmmaker. But like when I look back at all my life story, I guess you could call it, it seems like it was inevitable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't even brought up the bridge. that you were at. Oh my
The
God,
bridge,
dude.
yes.
That was a fun time. Was that grade 11? The summer after grade 11?
I think it was, yeah.
God. Do you remember anything about how that even started?
No.
Did Bemis just say, come act in this?
Yeah, basically.
Unreal.
Yeah, and like I didn't know much about it or anything like that. But like I rewatched it recently when one before you did the recut and after you did the recut, which
Yeah.
I do think the recut did add some, especially in the darker areas.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But there's parts in there where I'm like, this is really good. Like, I did notice you took out the the sound effect of them going through the glass after they've shot the window, which I loved that.
I know a lot of people
But
like
I
that one,
love that action scene. It's so
Yeah, me
good.
too, yeah.
The lamp falling
Yeah.
is being a happy accident. It turned it out so well. And then at the end of that, when you put the camera to go through the fence as Aaron's character is running away, like pure cinema.
Nice. That was because I remember Beamish had a book called The Portable Film School.
Okay.
First guy in my life who I ever remember taking film seriously.
Was Beamish.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he might have been definitely the catalyst to get that going.
Yeah.
I still love the original cut, errors and all.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's such a nostalgia trip.
Yes. And I remember I looked myself up on IMDb one time and realized that I had a credit on it.
Oh,
and I was
hell
like,
yeah.
this
okay.
is awesome.
I'm glad it exists.
I think I eventually merged the credit into my existing IMDb, so now it comes up. So it's like one of my only acting credits.
Yeah. I used IMDb recently again for the first time in probably like 8 years.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a complicated mess doing anything.
Oh yeah, and trying to put in any sort of, because you have to put like a request in for everything, right? But over years I was able to do a lot because I worked on a lot of like reality and factual TV shows as an assistant editor. So like that's where a lot of my it looks way more impressive than it is, because I was like, working on shows like Brother versus Brother for the Scott brothers and like American Pickers and stuff like that, Big Brother Canada. So like big name shows that people recognize.
Were you working on like a ghost one too?
Yes, Paranormal Nightmare.
Paranormal Nightmare.
Wait, no, My Paranormal Nightmare.
Okay.
So that's the one. They had that and Paranormal Survivor. So Paranormal Survivor was adults and My Paranormal Nightmare was children.
Okay.
And it was like your basic like interview with somebody who had like a paranormal event happen to them, and them recounting it, and then they do a recreation of the
It's just
event.
funny to me because there's so many ghost shows that it's like, okay, what is the original title for this one?
Yeah.
Paranormal Survivor. I like that though.
Yeah.
I don't know. There used to be such good ghost shows, but I remember
the original like Ghost Hunters, like, which actually I have a Roku TV in my room, and you can put on just like cable TV, but it's like Roku TV, and they have a whole channel that's just Ghost Hunters, and that's been something that I put on like to go to sleep.
I have seen the rough cut. Very impressive. One part that scared me a lot. Do you want to tell us about your first feature technically?
Yes, so it's called Cottage Trip. It's a found footage horror feature. It started out as a short, and so I was working with a newer crew, and we had worked on a few comedy sketches, but I wanted to kind of see if we could work on a horror project. So I started thinking about ideas of what I could write that could be something very low stakes, that we could do in like a weekend. And I came up with this idea, but what I kind of thought about was that with found footage films, one thing that a lot of people have gripes about is the acting. And I kind of had an idea that maybe it's because they're trying to think about a script that they're going to be going off of, but they can't go and check it because it's so like, rolling kind of thing. So I was wondering if maybe I could do an experiment where everything is improv'd. So what I did was I wrote an outline. I did not write the script. And so I went and worked off this outline and improv'd everything. So I'm in the movie, and my three friends are in the movie, and we play ourselves, but different like caricatures of ourselves. We just wanted to use our own names because it's too difficult in a a stressful situation to like remember to use a character name rather than if you're using your real name.
So you shot over 2 weekends?
1 weekend.
1 weekend. That's a hell of a lot to get done in one
Yes.
weekend. From what I saw.
Yeah.
My God.
So we did about 14-hour days, which like it was a little bit spread out and everything because what we did was I rented a Airbnb cottage in Grand Bend. And strategically, I rented it there in particular because my parents live in Port Franks, which is close by, and I knew if anything went wrong, I could go to my parents' place or have my dad or come out and help or something like that. Which my dad ended up being in the movie, and also there is a machine I had to build for the film that when we got it ready for that day to actually shoot, we broke it. So I had to take it to my dad's shop, which he was the one who actually helped me build it in the 2 weeks leading up to shooting. So we had to take the thing apart, see if we have a part to replace it, the one that got broken, and jerry rig it back together. And we had to use pipe glue, and it's supposed to have like 48 hours to set, and we only had a couple hours to have it set. So we brought it back to the Airbnb, put it by the wood stove that they had there, and to try to get it to cure a little bit, and then we just wrapped it in a ton of duct tape.
Yeah. When can people expect to see it?
That is a good question, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a festival circuit or if I'm going to do just a premiere at like a local theater like the Highland. I know our friends at Orange Hat have done that quite a bit, and so that's kind of something I'm considering. I've talked with Found TV, which is a newer streaming service, which is actually Canadian. It's a couple out of Hamilton. And I've talked to Louis, their, I guess it would be president, or he runs the streaming service. And I had a meeting with him, and he did watch a cut of it, and he said it would be, they would accept it on there. So it already has pre-approval there. So
almost a premiere in 2 spots then. You could do both.
Yes, and the thing that seems nice about Found TV is that they made it to help filmmakers. So their whole goal is to be able to have whatever deal that you make with them be essentially the deal you want with them. So you can be exclusive, you can be non-exclusive. You can make it a Found TV original if you want to go that route. You can be like, okay, I'm going to put it on for 90 days, non-exclusive, or exclusive if you want. So that's something where you could put it on for like 90 days and non-exclusive. So then maybe if it gets traction and you get a chance to get it on Tubi or something like that, then you can also put it on Tubi, and then you can have your different revenue streams.
Well, I like the idea of it coming out on something catered to its genre.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really exciting.
And it is an up-and-coming streaming service as well. Like, that's the thing I like about the found footage horror fan base is that it's a very niche fan base, and the fans are always on the lookout for the next great found footage film.
I am, absolutely.
Yeah.
What movies inspired you to get to where you are?
That's a great question. So The Shining is the original movie that really made me want to become a filmmaker.
That's so weird. That's the same for me. I remember watching it and thinking it was like so weirdly different than any other movie I'd seen.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, continue.
And just like realizing that, like, movies are made and not like, I feel like when you're a kid, you don't necessarily question how this movie came to be.
Yeah.
You just watch it and you kind of just don't think about that sort of thing. But it was one of those ones where I was thinking about like, what did they have to actually do to like get blood to come out of an elevator? So it was that movie, and interestingly, The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing it at the midnight premiere at Silver City in London.
Nice.
And just being absolutely blown away by it, just like from the very beginning, with like how intense, like it just jumps right into the heist scene, and then you get introduced to the Joker, but you don't know he's the Joker yet. It's the classic Nolan shot of like the silhouette of the person in the middle of the frame and the kind of a slow push in, and he's got the clown mask in his hand kind of thing. So like, I don't know, just something about that movie just...
That felt like the best movie I'd ever seen.
Exactly.
I was like, this is so damn epic.
It was like that, and then like Fight Club would be another movie where I just like saw it in high school and I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. It had such good rewatchability, so I watched it so many times. That was a movie I watched over and over again to try to see all the different, like, you know, times that Tyler Durden shows up.
Yeah. I think when I first watched that, I like let it play pretty long, like again right after, because my sister had it on her laptop.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is like, one of the sickest movies I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
That's so weird. A few of the same movies we both saw.
Yeah.
Kind of inspired something.
Yeah.
Because The Shining was definitely the first movie that made me think of anything like craft-wise behind it.
Yes.
And I think it was the dolly shots that kept happening.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this seems like intentional.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen a horror movie that kind of felt like epic and like very serious.
And I still look back to that film because I watch it yearly pretty much, and just it really inspires me with the camera movement specifically, because that's something that I still find I struggle with as a filmmaker is trying to have motivated movement, and knowing when to do it and when to not.
I don't even think I think about it. I just think like, does it look like cool?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like...
Well, and I think that's the one of the things to get out of your own way and to go with your intuition like that. Because like when you're a kid, you generally go mostly on your intuition, and as you grow into an adult, you learn to ignore your intuition. This also might be because I'm reading Stephen King's It right now, and it talks a lot about that. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a fucking chunky book. That's one I never got through
Yeah,
fully.
it's 1,153 pages, and I just reached the halfway point. I have a little bit of extra time right now in my days, so I've been reading a little bit more, trying to finish it so that I can watch it Welcome to Derry when it releases on the 25th.
You like Stephen King?
Yes.
Have you read The Dark Tower?
No, I have not.
You need to eventually. Who are your favorite directors?
I'm going to pull out the phone again because I have this written down. I use my notes app quite a bit. So it acts as like an extension of my brain if we're in a Marshall McLuhan type of conversation. But yeah, that's how I organize a lot of my thoughts. You know, ideas go down there. But I have my favorite directors list. So my modern horror favorite directors are Mike Flanagan, Ari Aster, Robert Eggers, Jordan Peele, and Lorcan Finnegan.
Who's the last one?
Lorcan Finnegan is an Irish filmmaker he did Vivarium and The Hole in the Ground, I believe.
I need to see those. Which one is better?
They're both good. I think you would like The Hole in the Ground more.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless that was Lee Cronin. I get them mixed up because they're both good.
I'll have to check it out.
And then when it comes to classic horror, I have John Carpenter, William Friedkin, Stanley Kubrick, Brian De Palma, and David Cronenberg.
Did Kubrick do any other horror movies?
I don't believe so, and that's something that people talk about with both him and Friedkin, because they are traditionally non-horror filmmakers that were brought in to do a horror film.
Yeah. So weird. One of the greatest horror movies ever.
Yeah.
His only one.
Yeah.
Trippy.
But that's the same with The Exorcist too.
Yeah.
William
Oh, well, I
Friedkin.
haven't seen many other Friedkin things, I don't think. I know he was working until an old age.
Yeah, I saw Bug, which I did
Oh,
enjoy.
yeah, yeah. Bug,
I
yeah.
wanted to see Sorcerer. I've heard good things about
Mm-hmm.
Sorcerer, but yeah, I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Canada makes a lot of like really good like sci-fi horror.
Yes.
You've seen Cube?
Cube is it's a favorite of mine for
Yeah.
sure. Especially, I went to the Canadian Film Festival a couple years ago, and
Vincenzo Natali?
Vincenzo. Is it Vincent or Vincenzo? So,
I think it's Vincenzo, yeah.
Vincenzo Natali was there to do a Q&A, so I watched as much of the Q&A as I could. I unfortunately had to leave early because I had like an appointment to get to, but it was great to hear some of his process, and like I believe it started out as a CFC film. So Canadian Film Center film, which is how a lot of Canadian filmmakers do get their start, is to go through the Canadian Film Center. And have you seen his original short film Elevator?
I watched them all years ago.
Okay, because that's when I learned about that film, and so I went home and I watched it and like was like, how did they do this? But I already knew how he had done it because he had talked about it in his Q&A. So like they had walls that they could take out and stuff like that, so that you could put the camera in different places and whatnot. And it was kind of the catalyst or precursor to Cube. Trying to make that like
Right.
contained space, which it's the ultimate type of like bottle.
Yeah, one of
story.
the most immersive movies ever. Because
Yeah.
like, I think about similar things like people who wake up in a game type situation.
Yeah,
Because like Saw,
Saw.
Squid Game, all these other things that you could say are similar, they all have flashbacks and exterior scenes.
Yeah.
Whereas Cube had fucking none of it.
No.
And I loved it because it was like, are these like aliens doing this or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Have you seen the sequels?
I don't think I have.
They're not that good.
No.
The second one is visually great.
Yeah.
The third one is just weird. But
That one is Cube Zero. Is the third one?
yeah, it goes like Hypercube and then Cube Zero.
Okay.
But
I still might give them a watch.
they're worth
at some
it
point.
if you like it. Yeah. But I was thinking I just feel like oddly enough we're a country that does sci-fi horror the best.
Yes.
And I don't know why.
There's a lesser known, or I just don't hear it talked about a lot, but I believe it's Canadian. It's called Extraterrestrial from 2014.
Okay.
And it is my favorite, I think, alien movie that I've seen, because it's one of those movies where, the classic thing in a horror movie when everyone's yelling at the screen because the person or the character is doing something dumb. And in this movie, most of the people are doing what I think I would do in that situation. So, and then it still doesn't work out. So that's something I think it does really well, is it does the logical thing that you think you would do in the situation, and it still doesn't work out for them. And it's just, it's a great movie. I think it's super underrated and should be seen more.
Do you like Videodrome?
Yes, that's I think my favorite Cronenberg. Yeah.
His son's movie Possessor. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of seems like a flip side of the coin tonally, right?
Yeah, and honestly, that is one of my favorite movies. On that list, I think it was number 12 or something.
You like
that.
Possessor more than Videodrome?
I've seen Possessor more than Videodrome.
Yeah, I need to watch it again. I've only seen it once.
I've been going to Odyssey Records to get physical media, and they have Videodrome now that's from the Criterion Collection, but it's like $40, and I can't bring myself to shell out the money for
Criterion is ridiculous
Yes.
with those fucking prices.
Yeah.
You're not going to bring back physical media by charging like $40-$50 for these
Yeah,
things.
exactly. Like, but like that's the thing where like I got Inception there for like $3.
Yep. Yeah. Beyond the Black Rainbow.
I've seen it. I really like it visually.
Yeah.
Story wise, I'm a very much more narrative guy.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, or traditional narrative guy, and so that's where my disconnect was with it. But it's still such a trip of a movie. I love Cosmos, Panos Cosmatos. He like
I'm getting deja vu because we talked about this on the last one too.
Yes. He just like has this like such like rich visual language.
Yeah.
And like even his episode on Cabinet of Curiosities.
I need to watch that.
I didn't love the way they ended it, but I understood that the way they went with it, because it's very much like impending doom kind of thing. This is being released into the world,
right?
But just the visual style of that, because it's kind of like an 80s kind of feel to it, and like they go into this weird billionaire's like mansion, and it's got like this room that's just like circular, and it's got one of those like conversation pits or whatever that's like sunk into the floor kind of thing, and it's just like, oh, it's so cool. And like Mandy was great. I still have my issues with them because they're not super traditional narrative, but I have been trying to, expand my horizons by like, taking it for what it is. And it's one of those things where I know the first time watching those ones, I was very annoyed because of that. But the retrospective looking back at it, I was like, that's actually really fucking cool.
I liked Mandy a lot. Not as much as Black Rainbow.
No, I think I liked Black Rainbow more as well.
Yeah, I like it, and this for the same reasons I like Eraserhead, where it's like it's film as like a sensory experience.
I also find those films are best consumed like kind of alone. When you can like fully lock in.
Yes.
And because it's kind of a bit more like experiential.
I guess that's what an art film would generically be described as, I guess. Black Rainbow, Cube, Possessor, Videodrome is like the holy trinity for me in terms of that stuff out of Canada.
And it's all Canadian, which is
I just
great.
wish there was like 50 more of
and I just watched Infinity Pool as well.
How is that?
I enjoyed it. I made the mistake of watching it on a plane on the way back from my honeymoon. And there's quite a few graphic scenes. Like right within like the first 15 minutes, there's like a full-on just penis on the screen.
They need the privacy screens.
So I had a empty bag of chips, so I just kept on putting the bag of chips like kind of in the way every time, and like I had to put it up like at least like 15 20 times.
You would think there would be limits on what you can watch on an airplane, right?
I had it it was WestJet. They do not have the screens in the back of the
seat.
The seat.
Oh, okay.
I actually, it's been a while since I've seen any planes that have that now.
Oh, okay.
I think they just assume that everyone has their own personal devices. So
wow.
I had this, one of those Amazon tablets or whatever that's like $100, and I just loaded that up with one just on a micro USB,
right?
Or micro SD. And then also, I just you can download stuff from Prime and Netflix and stuff like that to watch offline. So that's what I did as well. Also, that flight happened to have Wi-Fi, and it actually worked.
Nice. Well, yeah, I still need to watch that. I don't have any craving to watch stuff if like it's notable for being gory and fucked up and stuff like that. I would watch that one because it's Brandon Cronenberg.
Yes.
But like, I mean, stuff like the Terrifier movies.
Yeah,
I watched like 2 minutes.
It
And,
doesn't
yeah.
do much for me. Like I've seen all three.
Really? Okay. Why?
I know. I have a friend who is into them, and
Okay,
so
yeah.
he wanted me to go with him to see the third one.
Oh, so you're like,
in
I have to
theaters.
watch the first two.
Yeah, and like the first one was actually all right.
Okay.
I didn't hate the first one. The thing is, you can see that it's at points that it's low budget and everything. So it's that I can see like, you know, the indie filmmaker in me is like, hats off to you. You did a good job of like, you know, doing something well with your low budget. The second one was just like a completely different sort of beast, because I felt like very hateful,
Yeah.
especially
Well, I haven't seen
towards
them,
women.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like all
shit.
the women characters like were like very like played like just bitchy,
Right.
like it felt like that's the note he gave every single one of them or whatever. Which, and then the other thing is that like all the excessiveness is only violence against women, which I just,
So what are they, like exploitation films?
it feels
technically, I guess?
kind of like exploitation in a
Yeah.
way. And yeah, like and again, anytime I do a take on any sort of film, I always still think about like, it's amazing that they got this made, because it's so hard to make a film. So I try not to trash
I
films
must have
too
watched-
much, but yeah, I do find them a little bit difficult, but I do still feel like I found some good parts of
Okay.
them. And like the third one, I think was the best narratively. And I think that they did a better job of being a little bit more. There's a little bit more equality there in the violence.
It's because like, I think as long as you're in film, you always know that there's this side of film where it's like shock,
Yes.
exploitation.
And I think that that's what it was. It very much plays into, and I think that's one of the reasons why it has done so well, is because so many movies have shied away from the gore, and it really embraces it.
Well, crazy to think that there is a segment of the viewers for movies who only want crazy shit like that. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, show
yeah.
me something crazier.
The other thing I think that's interesting about Terrifier is that they actually have brought a new villain into you know, the villain space, I guess.
Okay.
You know, like,
Yeah, because I know
it's-
the clown is very popular.
Exactly.
Right?
So
Yeah.
like, I feel like it's been a while since we've had, you know, like your Freddy, your Jason, your
yeah, true.
Michael Myers. Like, I feel like it's in generally those are like slashers, right?
That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah. So I think that is at least one thing I see that's good that came out of it.
Right.
As now there's another horror villain, and sure, like, you know, you could be like, well, what about Pennywise the clown? You know, they're both clowns, but
Yeah.
Pennywise does talk, whereas Art the clown does not. He mimes everything, which I think adds to the creepiness, especially in the first one for me, because all he does is just walk around with this garbage bag that you don't really know what's in there.
Maybe I'll give it a chance.
I'd say the first one.
Yeah. Have you seen the Poughkeepsie tapes?
Yes.
You've seen that?
I actually really liked it. I don't think for me, it doesn't have as much rewatch value, because it makes you feel so sick.
I feel the exact same way.
But I thought it was so well done.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, it has that mockumentary style to it, kind of thing. But just all the stuff with the actual tapes and stuff, like that stuff is like, it's fucked up.
That's one of the only films I've watched where I was like, I can tell that was a really good film.
Yeah.
Really well made, but I cannot recommend it to anyone
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And there was a part that, without it being a spoiler, the final interview terrified me just looking at the subject.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh,
yeah.
this is
Well,
well
and
acted.
just the the guy with the pantalone mask,
Yeah.
that, just like it just gives me the ick.
I feel like I almost want to, God, because it's hard to recommend. The grimy creepiness of it, I've never seen it done so well.
Yeah,
So,
and just like
you know what? It felt realistic.
yeah, and like the Stockholm syndrome aspect to it, like
Oof.
yeah,
Ugh, God. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, this is not real.
yeah,
You know? So,
yeah.
what is your thoughts? What have your thoughts been on the indie filmmaking experience so far?
I've been loving it.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm prepping to do a short film through the Action London program, but they're trying to imitate like a movie of the week Hallmark movie type thing. So it's the biggest crew I've ever worked with. It's, I think, a crew of 23. And that's mimicking more towards like a studio type of movie, and I feel like the stress just has really risen compared to when I'm doing more of an indie style. And I helped Orange Hat Productions just yesterday on one of their productions, and it just made me be like, oh God, I love the indie filmmaking because it's just so much more chill. You can have the time to figure the things out, where I feel like I may have a little bit more stress for my time restrictions on this short, as I only have one day to shoot it at the airport in London, and I only have 5 hours in the space where all the actual film takes place. Everything else is all set up, and we have a 12-hour day. So it's going to be interesting trying to get everything, because like we have 5 shots that are outside of the airside lounge, so everything else is on the other side of security. So we're wasting time, just getting stuff through security plus people through security. We're limited to how many crew members we can have on that side, and then we're limited in how much time we actually have in that space to shoot. So we're aiming to have 5 hours of shooting time there to get 3.5 pages of script. So it'll be an interesting challenge.
Sounds like a situation where like hopefully people don't overthink things and just kind of get it done, right?
So that's the thing. We have a great director of photography. He teaches the cinematography class at Fanshawe. So he's very experienced in everything. So we should be able to have our lighting and everything. I have a meeting with him tomorrow to finalize our shot list and everything. But it is a great opportunity because it's giving me a chance to be just a director. Because with indie filmmaking, you're wearing so many hats. I usually use the umbrella term like I'm a filmmaker, but really it means I'm the writer, the director, the producer, the editor, for the most part, and then anything else that I need to fill in that, with the crew members I don't have or can't afford to pay.
Yeah.
God. So I think the thing that I get out of it is that I'm making the things I want to make, and so like I feel like for a long time I was stuck in just like, oh well, I can't make this yet, or and like I think a lot of people get stuck in like looking for the money and stuff like that, but like there's something to just trying to figure out how to make the thing you want to make, either if you have to rewrite it to make it lower budget, or just figuring out a way to use the resources you have creatively. Yeah.
Do you see another feature film in your near future?
Yes. So I have been slowly adding to a Google Doc that's about 50 pages long now of just stuff that I've been, what does Jordan Peele say? He says he's shoveling sand into a sandbox to make sandcastles with later. So, and also the other thing I'm with Jordan Peele is that I also see this as my Get Out, because he wrote that on and off for like 10, 20 years before he actually made it. So that's kind of where I've had this idea kicking around in my head for like 5 to 7 years or so.
Jesus. Do you want to tell us about it?
I can tell you a little bit about it,
Go for it.
because it really combines a lot of different horror tropes.
Okay.
You know, like there's cults, there's, you know, cannibalism, there's witches, there's black magic, you know, all these different elements kind of converging into one story. And the working title I have is Red Valley Farms. And that's about as much
Cryptic, yeah.
that's about as much as I want to tell about it.
Nice.
Because it's still like so early on. But that I've told myself that I'm not going to be taking on any other projects after I get through these other ones, because I want to focus on the writing of that script.
Okay. When do you think you'll start filming?
That's a good question. That'll probably be like a 2027 type thing. You know, like it's because I'm gonna have to write the script, and I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I would like to, once I like get down to actually write it, I would like to give myself like a 6 month, like, you know, get it done in this amount of time and give myself a little bit of a deadline.
Very exciting. When you start on that, we'll have to have you back on.
Yes, that's
I
kind of
told
my.
this to Daryl too. I'm like, once you're done your movie, we've talked about it before. And now
Yeah.
we'll have you back on again
Yeah,
after.
that's kind of my dream movie. Especially if I could have a budget for that, like that's beyond what my own personal budget. That is like kind of the dream film that I would want to make.
But you're tackling it now rather than putting it off, because some people would put off the dream project indefinitely.
So that's where I think that there's something to even just having a finished script. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts more about writing and the business side of screenwriting, and there, you know, if you can get a script and get it out there and you know, attach yourself to it. The other thing I could do with it once I have something is I could always, you know, make that proof of concept to show that, you know, not only should I be the writer, but I'll be the director as well.
Any tips for people wanting to get into film?
I'm going to quote Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
There you
go. I spent a lot of time doing the procrastinating, like where you're procrastinating by like just sticking to the learning aspect and like, you know, watching YouTube videos, like reading books and stuff like that, which I think there is power to that. But I think action is the biggest thing, and just doing some sort of project, whatever you can do with the means you have, you know, whatever you can do, you know, low budget things. Everyone that says like make something with your phone and stuff like that, and yeah, just like use what you have at your disposal, whatever resources you have. The big thing about filmmaking is being resourceful and creative with those resources, and so just figuring out to make stuff, because that's going to be where you learn the most, is when you're in the process of doing things and doing those things before you're ready, and then learning as you go and being like, okay, I've run into this problem. What can I do to solve this problem and get over this obstacle?
All right, man. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. We will have to have Brandon on again after some of these projects are completed. And again, look for that premiere on the 17th.
Yep.
And other than that, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to know more about what I'm working on, you can follow me at BVR_productions on Instagram and YouTube.